Right, before we talk Chelsea, we've got a caller. Gentleman, his phone is 03717 223344. Earlier on, I think we said that Jordan Henderson weren't sure whether he'd done enough to want a place in the England squad. Somebody that might just have a disagreement with us is Stephen, the Liverpool fan. Stephen, a very good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Steve.
Morning, fellas. How are we doing?
We're in great form, Stephen. How about you? Have we got it totally wrong here?
Yeah, I think Gabby mentioned 3 players with experience. So we mentioned Harry Kane, Harry Maguire and Saka.
Yeah.
Which so far they haven't won much, nothing compared to Henderson. He's done it on the biggest stage, and I think his experience and calmness is going to be completely valuable to this England squad.
I take your point a little bit, Steve, but if I may come back at you and say, do the England squad... Now, there's no doubt for me that Jordan Henderson has been an absolutely terrific player, excellent player, and worthy of his England appearances. But at the stage he is in his career, and that is more often than not sitting on the bench at Ajax, is that what England need to look forward to the next World Cup?
I think definitely. I think if we've got a bit of a rocky midfield, it does happen at times. I think if you bring him on with 30 minutes left to play, he's going to show the drive and passion that he has done for the whole of his career. It'll probably give the players a bit of a kickstart and actually get them going again.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, you know, as that extra player who can come on for 10, 15. I hear what you're saying on that, but I just don't like it when I see Morgan Gibbs-White doesn't make it. You know, players that are playing week in, week out in the Premier League. And when I say experience, we have got experience. Pickford, Kyle Walker, playing at AC Milan, top league. Declan Rice, Harry Kane, Phil Foden, even Rashford's experienced England player. So we've already got experience in there.
Interesting. Listen, Steve, we're going to have to let
Thanks,
you go.
Steve.
Really appreciate your call. Made some good points. Cole Palmer and Chelsea have been struggling at the top end of the pitch in the last couple of months, and we're now joined by former Blues defender. Well, we were joined by former Blues defender Mario Melchiot yesterday, who put it down to Nicholas Jackson being injured.
Jackson gives them the outlet and the speed up front, and also, you know, sometimes we forget about, because we don't really play football with a traditional target man anymore, but Jackson has some of those qualities, because he also has the speed, but he can hold the ball up, strength, he doesn't mind a fight. If he's not there, they don't have that. And then the outlet, of course, what helps Palmer is when Jackson plays there, because he does certain things that suits Palmer to pop up in certain pockets. But if you miss both, it's going to be a hell of a change, because those are your key players. You can say like, oh, we have the others, but it doesn't work like that. It is not like you have wingers that score goals that go in a row. So that's the same thing. So I think those 2 players are very, very important for Chelsea.
I don't think there's any doubt they're really important. Now, we're going to bring in immediately the host of Chelsea Fan TV. That's Alex Harris. Alex, a good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. How's it going, guys?
It's going really well, Alex. Now, I've got a question for you. Cole Palmer missing out the team is an obvious one, right? But if somebody had said to me 6 weeks ago that Chelsea would really miss Nicholas Jackson, I would have maybe questioned that. However, I think it's really evident they are.
I think we're missing a lot. I think you're right. Jackson is obviously a key part of the team. He's a key player. But we've been playing poor football for a couple of months now. So, I mean, you can't just put it down to him. We don't have Mark Guiu either. So when you look at it, we don't have an out-and-out striker. I think Neto's filled in quite nicely, to be honest with you, even though it didn't look like it against Arsenal. But that's the best that we have at the moment. But also, for me, you've got to look at everything. I'm not a fan of Maresca. I'm not a big fan of what he's doing. I think that the more I think about it, the more people spoke about how well he was doing at the beginning of the season. I think, was he just riding that wave from last season that Poch actually built? And then as soon as he actually started to implement his own system, you know, and he has 1 or 2 injuries, it capitulates, you know. I just think that people are making too many excuses for this manager. I appreciate he's having a tough time in terms of not having a striker. That's fair. But we have a lot of players that are available, and we're not getting the best out of them. So you look at Gusto, who was brilliant for us last season, not performing. Maresca had the opportunity to start a competent goalkeeper. You know, he could have probably had a say in Petrovic at the beginning of the year. He wanted him to go to Strasbourg. We look at Felix, we look at Vega. I don't think that those are decisions that get made without a thumbs up from the manager. So I think he's just as much a culprit as anyone. Although I can appreciate he doesn't have a striker, he still needs to get more out of this team.
Yeah, I think as well, Alex, for me with Chelsea, I mean, it was only a couple of months ago we were talking about, they're in a title race. And you look at the table now, and they're 21 points behind Liverpool. And I feel like the form has not been good enough. Players aren't stepping up. Other players, when Palmer's going through a little barren spell, Neto, for me, needs to do more. Maduiki's been very good when he's been fit. And Kunku's got to do more. I just feel like certain players aren't lifting their game.
It frustrates me as well when people talk about Nkunku. By the way, Nkunku, he hasn't put effort in recently. Everyone's aware of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be at Chelsea. Why would he? He's been frozen out by the manager. This is a perfect example of Nkunku. We speak about a lack of goals within the team. And I think if you're a good manager, you can get the best out of players, even if they're not your number one.
Yep.
Jackson's out, Guiu's out, right. Who can you lean on to score goals? And Nkunku was brought in as one of the best players in his position in world football. He was a top scorer in the Bundesliga. And now people are saying that he's useless and that he can't play. Do people forget that when he started against Man City on the opening day, he was played as a winger. Maresca has no idea how to get the best out of Nkunku. He's never played him as a 10, which is Nkunku's best position. And when he was playing in his natural, even as a striker in the Conference League, he was scoring goals. It was only when he started getting dropped consistently week in, week out, and then told by the club that we're going to try and sell you anyway, that his level and his form dropped. So I have sympathy for Nkunku, to be honest with you, although as a Chelsea fan, it pains me to say when I see him on the pitch like I did against Arsenal, and you think, is he going to press? Obviously not. He's not fighting for this team. He's not fighting for this manager. And I wouldn't want to fight for this manager either, because he doesn't inspire anything from the fan base. He doesn't inspire any sort of confidence or leadership.
Alex.
Active. Yeah, go on, Ali.
I'm going to have to fire some positivity into you, Paul. Come on. Maresca has come out and said that they're going to finish, a great chance of finishing fourth. Surely if he can
you know what Moises Caicedo said? Caicedo said we were better than Arsenal because they've been together for 7 years. I mean, it's delusion. It's delusion, Ali. The football, look, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen in the world. We played some good football this season, but even you could admit, over the past couple of months, if you've been able to watch any of the games
I have done,
without falling asleep, then you have my respect.
Alex, we're going to have you back on 100%. When you clinch that fourth place, mate. And you'll be having a massive bit of humble pie, my pal. Listen, thanks for taking the time to join us. You have a great day.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.